Hello internet viewers, I'm the Fairly OddGamer. It's Christmas time, so that means it's time for our annual holiday review. Last time I reviewed a game I covered 5 years ago, again being Finding Nemo. But another game I reviewed 5 years ago was The Grinch on the PlayStation. And no, I will not be reviewing that game again. However, today's video will still be based on that very character. So why am I going back to The Grinch? Well, allow me to explain.
Usually around the holiday season, the Grinch is a very popular character. He was conceived by Dr. Seuss in 1957 with the publication of his book, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, but his popularity rose 9 years later with the release of the animated TV special of the same name, directed by Chuck Jones and narration by Boris Karloff. But of course, the Grinch has appeared in other Seuss cartoons, including The Grinch as the Cat in the Hat and Halloween is Grinch Night, among others. He's even appeared in live action, whether on the big screen with Jim Carrey, a Muppet-like character thanks to the Wonderful World of Dr. Seuss, a costume mean green character at the Universal theme parks, or even on stage with the Broadway musical. But other appearances include the Random House videotape of the book in a cutout animation style narrated by Walter Matthau, the 2018 CGI remake by Illumination, a slasher horror parody called The Mean One that came out last year, and even an audio podcast called 'Tis the Grinch Holiday Talk Show hosted by James Austin Johnson of Saturday Night Live.
However, there is one real reason why I wanted to go back to The Grinch this year. Well, apparently the Grinch got to star in a new game over 20 years after the last game he appeared in.
While the game was announced on June 28th of this year, it was actually released on, get this, October 13th of this year, on a Friday no less. So yeah, the new Grinch game was released on Friday the 13th. Coincidence? Probably.
For this review, I'll be looking at the Xbox One version. So, is The Grinch Christmas Adventures as good as the book it was based on? And is this game better than the PS1 movie tie-in game? Let's make our way down to Who-Ville and find out.
We say that the game was published by Outright Games, known for their tie-in games based off of children's franchises, and developed by Casual Brothers, best known for Orc Attack Flatulent Rebellion? Never heard of it. By the way, is it just me, or does Hooville look like what was seen in the 2018 CGI version? Might just be a coincidence. But hey, the character models for the Grinch and Max look very good, mixing the original design from the book with the colorization of the original 1996 cartoon. The game starts off with a level selection via tiny models in the Grinch's living room, at least I think we're in his living room. So let's start off with the first level in our first world, the caves. What's this? A passage from the original book? That's a first.
Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot.
I'm actually glad we get a Grinch game that is not based on the movies, but instead based on the original book. So already the Grinch wants to plot his Christmas theft. However, he can't go on his thieving adventure without his dog Max. And that's exactly what the Grinch has to do. As a Grinch, you also have to steal every present scattered around each level, whether in plain sight or in secret areas, as well as golden puzzle pieces. And these are important because these puzzle pieces allow you to unlock more gadgets, abilities, and surprises for the Grinch to use in later levels. Oh, and you can move around freely with the control stick. However, once you're outside, it then changes to a 2.5D platformer like in New Super Mario Bros. For the Wii. From there, you can jump over obstacles and even up to higher ledges that you can hang on to. Press jump again, and you can climb up said higher ledges. There's also enemies like spiders and nutcrackers that the Grinch can either jump over or defeat by simply jumping onto them. But be careful because getting hit by one of them makes you lose one heart size, which serves as a game's hit meter. But getting hit with an empty heart causes the Grinch to, I guess, die, and you're then sent back to the beginning of that area or last reached checkpoint via Porchlight Bell, with a cute looking Christmas bow. The only downside is you have to go back and retrieve any present or puzzle pieces that you may have gotten after the previous checkpoint. In addition, there's Jingle Bell pendulums to avoid, heavy revolving doors and rocks to push while possibly defeating enemies, and you can even warp from the foreground to the background, like in the new Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Finally, you can look around the area to find any hidden items within close range. It's only after the Grinch finds Max where you can either switch to Max on command or have a friend play as Max for local co-op. Kinda wish I had online co-op in this game, but that's just me. Well, Max can open up a locked door by pressing a red button. And not only can Max also collect presents and puzzle pieces, like the Grinch, but he can also jump higher while still helping the mean old Grinch. But sometimes the camera can be a bit off after switching back to the Grinch. The only way to get centered back to the Grinch is to have him whistle to have Max come back to him. Each level ends with a tally on how many presents you found, as well as how many of the 8 puzzle pieces you found throughout the level. You heard right, Each level contains 8 puzzle pieces, and as mentioned before, collecting enough of them lets you unlock a new ability. How do you unlock them? By putting together a puzzle with the image clearly visible in the background, but it feels kind of awkward in my opinion. Anyway, after completing a puzzle, you then unlock a new ability permanently. I love the new abilities, and I think it's a good motivator to collect all the puzzle pieces.
Well, let's do some math here.
Each level has 8 puzzle pieces in total, but each world has 6 levels, making it 48 puzzle pieces. However, there's 3 worlds throughout the whole game, so in total, that's 144 puzzle pieces the Grinch has to find in order to unlock everything in the game.
Who cares for puzzles anyway? I just wanted to get to stealing Christmas already.
Let's talk about these unlockable abilities. The double jump is self-explanatory. The candy cane lasso allows you to climb and swing to more areas of the game, hard upgrades that increase your hit meter, a jetpack that lets you launch to even higher ground, 3 pieces of clothing for a Santa Claus outfit, a snowball to stun enemies, a snowboard and a sleigh for particular stages, and I'll get to that later. The game also features seesaws, trampolines, bouncers, spikes that instantly kill you, falling spikes from the ceiling, and breaking and entering houses, stealing presents in the process. But instead of having the gingerbread people and or Who's attack the Grinch for home invasion, they want to spread their holiday spirit by hugging you like you would with a mascot character. However, the Grinch despises hugs and therefore adding a new stealth gameplay mechanic. You have to avoid getting caught by said gingerbread people and Who's by hiding in a wardrobe, under a dining table, or even under a bed. Or better yet, try not to make any noise or get detected if possible. There's a meter that shows how much noise you're making. The higher the meter, the more likely you'll get caught. If you do, the meter will fill up and turn red. Then you have to quickly run and hide. However, the AI doesn't do a good job of chasing after you, so oftentimes you can just simply make a run for it unless you somehow get cornered in a dead-end room. It kind of feels more like the junior version of Metal Gear Grinch. However, the 6th level of each area has the Grinch slide down a slope with a snowboard from a large jingle ball or an avalanche. It's almost like the mod speed sections from Sonic Colors, minus the speed. But you can also jump to avoid obstacles or even double jump to higher ledges. But if you bump into a ledge or fall into an abyss, you're then sent back to an earlier portion of the level. So essentially, the checkpoints occur randomly. Also, why can't these levels have more fitting music, especially when there's an avalanche after you? I think a more fitting song for this level would have been this.
And in case you weren't aware, the snowboard was originally based on the Snurfer.
You got that right, dude.
Oh, hey, Hux.
Hey, gamer. Merry Christmas. As I was saying, snowboarding is kind of like surfing, only with snow instead of water. You know, I've always wanted to surf, but how could I? I live on top of a mountain. Well, maybe when you snowboard, just think of the snow as water as you ride along the waves. That's not a bad idea. Thanks, Green Pup. It's Huxgamr. Whatever.
While these levels are different, you still have to snatch more presents and 8 more puzzle pieces, so at least there's some consistency. By the way, I love how these book pages follow the book perfectly, with the Dr. Seuss style font. Although it would have been nice if it had the same animation and narration from the Random House videos, but again, that's just me. Now with the basic gameplay out of the way, let's talk about the areas. The caves, in a way, serve as the game's tutorial. You'll be able to learn about the basic controls, as well as any new abilities unlocked via puzzle pieces in order to help our Grinchy friends steal Christmas. With the Grinch out of the case, it's off to the next area being the countryside. It's here where as Max, you can jump over a hole above the locked door and once again, open said door via red button. By the way, I forgot to mention that the candy cane lassos can only be activated within close range. You can tell when a moving target starts to pulse. Speaking of which, the 5th stage has moving lasso points. Just a little FYI. Also, the stage has swinging spiders, why does the color scheme look like Spider-Man, and even bats.
They're great survivors.
And be wary of the slippery ice. Ice physics! Finally, this is the first world where the Grinch also has to hide from the Who's. Oh, and the 3rd stage has a waterfall. You know, glacier waterfalls. By the way, there is one small gripe I have with this game. When unlocking the whole Santa outfit for the Grinch, the game says that the Who's will recognize him less. I'm sorry, but I don't see anything different about these sections with the Santa Grinch. The snowboarding stage in this area has the Grinch snowboard away from the giant ornament. You could say it's a nod to the boulder scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark, but I think it reminds me of when Goofy encountered the giant ornament in the mall in Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas.
Though it might just be a coincidence.
And this leads to the final area of the game, Who-Ville. I gotta say that the overall area looks amazing. It almost looks like it was taken from the 2018 CGI version, but I thought the developers did a great job of replicating some of these houses and buildings from Seuss's original designs. While the overall gameplay remains the same, there are a few additions and changes from the previous worlds. For starters, the spiders are now stockings, and yes, some of them do swing. The Grinch can now hide under beds in addition to the cabinets and tables, and the Grinch faces a new enemy, a spiral Christmas tree that topples down when you're in close range. Luckily, with a jetpack, you can blast off and jump onto the trees, therefore defeating them. Also, I'm kinda sad the only time we ever see Cindy Lou Who in the game is from the book passages, not in any of the levels.
Aw man, I want to see Cindy Lou Who in at least one level.
Me too, Hux.
For once, I agree with the both of you. It's just outright insane for the developers to leave her out. Even Max is upset about it. It's alright, Max. You still have me. Oh no. I think my heart is starting to grow a size.
I really love how Hooville looks at night with the 4th and 5th levels, but why are the Who's still awake? Shouldn't they be asleep by now? Unless they're the ones leaving the presents out.
What?
You said it, buddy. Although it is pretty cool seeing the Grinch escape some of the houses via fireplace, just like the book. So after the Grinch steals all the presents in every house, he goes back home upon the top of Mount Newell and begins to push his sleigh away for good.
Yeah, we all know what happens next. I expect to hear sounds of gloom and sadness from the Who's, but instead I hear sounds of joy and happiness. I thought I'd stopped Christmas, but it still came. No gifts, no trees, no food, no decorations, nothing!
How could it be so?
And who's that guy? The narrator telling the story? I've been through this multiple times. I could practically do all of it in my sleep if I had to. Anyway, I realized that Christmas is much more than that. And of course, my heart grew 3 sizes during the interval. So because of this, I rode on the sleigh down to Whoville, handing out presents to every Who boy and Who girl in every Who house.
But in my opinion, this level's probably the most difficult, even if it is the final level.
Well, how so, Mr. Gamer?
Yeah, dude, how so?
Allow me to explain.
In this one, you basically throw presents to any nearby house left and right while trying to jump over any staircase you see. Easy enough, right? Well, if you're also trying to get every puzzle piece at the same time, yeah. Remember what I said earlier about the checkpoints being randomized in the snowboarding levels? I feel that it's handled much worse in this level, especially when you're going for 100% completion. So in a situation like this, you have to think about what to do. Do you go for the puzzle pieces for completion, or play the game normally and return all 99 presents to every house?
The choices are yours and yours alone.
I'm actually glad you can replay levels even after finishing them. It's a good way to help you explore new areas that you missed before, just in case you've missed any presents or puzzle pieces in any of the levels. And trust me, there are a few levels in which I missed a few presents and a puzzle piece. After the Grinch returns all the gifts, he's then rewarded by, you guessed it, carving the roast beast.
And that concludes the story mode for this game, but there's still a bit more to talk about.
First off, it's pretty cool getting to see some of the original book archived in sketches. And finally, the completionist reward. Yes, I'm one of the few people to have actually completed this game, well, for the Xbox One. If you manage to find all 144 puzzle pieces, you then solve the final feast puzzle. Not only do you get this riveting animation of the Grinch and Max with the Who's,
but you also get to play the game again in mirror mode.
Wait, what?
this is what I get for finding all the puzzle pieces, playing the game again but mirrored. Let it be known that even if you play the game normally, it can take around 3 to 4 hours, but adding in the mirror mode can take another 3 to 4 hours, maybe even longer. I even heard that if you find all the puzzle pieces in mirror mode, then you get the same result. So basically, nothing major happens in mirror mode. Heck, there's even no achievements for mirror mode. So what's the point of completing this game?
Bragging rights. Just bragging rights.
Bogus, dude.
Oh well. Anyway, what did you think of my new game?
Well, even with the lane completionist reward, I don't think it ruined my overall experience.
As someone who grew up with the Grinch from the book and numerous adaptations, I think the game is definitely worth the 3 to 4 hours. Aesthetically, it looks fantastic. The game manages to perfectly replicate the overall setting and even the themes found in the book, and surprisingly, it works. The overall gameplay does have some minor issues, primarily with the 2D platforming sections. I guess they're trying to go with the Mario formula, and that's fine, but I think Mario did a better job with that style of gameplay. I love the power-ups that the Grinch uses in other levels, And like I said before, it's a good motivator for puzzle piece hunting. And the cell sections are just downright laughable. While the music isn't very memorable, it may be the only Grinch thing that doesn't have the Welcome Christmas or You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch songs. But then again, the book didn't have those either. Overall, The Grinch Christmas Adventures is an okay game. I'd actually recommend this game to anyone that has fond memories of the Grinch in any form of media, or just the holiday season in general. And for a kids game, it's not that bad. Give it a try when you get a chance.
I'm actually starting to realize that maybe literature tie-in games don't have to be directly based on a movie or TV special. Maybe literature tie-in games, perhaps, can be based on the literature itself.
You know, Gamer, you do bring up a good point.
True. Speaking of which, what about the handheld game I gave you 2 years ago?
Well, it's a bit too late for that. But at least there's next year.
Good point. Anyway, I should get going now. See you all next Christmas!
And I should get going too. Merry Christmas, dude!
Well, that's nice of them. Anyway, I hope you enjoy your holiday season and always bring goodwill to those around you. I'm the Fairly OddGamer, and I wish you all good luck for the rest of your day or night, wherever you are. Take care, everyone.
Hey dudes, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon.
And make sure you follow us on social media. Video commission is available. And now, I wish a character buddy would end off the video right now.
Well, that was heart-crushing. Anyway, it's the Grinch again. I couldn't leave without a small something for you, viewers. You can support this Fairly OddGamer person on Patreon. Supporting this guy lets you join a certain Discord server, your name on the list next to me, and access to upcoming videos before anyone else, like Luke Jeffers. Thanks for watching the video, supporting the channel, and enjoy your holiday. I hope I didn't miss any houses this year because I still want to steal more Christmas!